The 1.5-mile championship venue sits 26 miles southwest of Miami, Florida. Welcome, one and all, to one final race of Season 7 NASCAR Budweiser Cup Series NR2003 action. Tonight, it is the Ford 400, and what a spectacle it shall be as we'll go further into that. Whilst qualifying is ongoing, take a look at the points one final time. Well, heading into the race, that is. After Rockingham, it is Hector Garcia with the advantage, 14 points over Le Traynor. And those two are going to be the ones we'll be looking after through this, what should be a very, very exciting night in Homestead, Florida. Jukushinome locks up third in championship, and it's going to be William Fisher P4 just coming off his race win. William Gregory top 5. So, two drivers and only one prize available for grabs here, as any championship has to be. So qualifying just wrapped up now, so take a look. William Viola on pole, Tyler Aziz joins him on the front row. Where have I seen this before? And just, I don't even need to tell you, just look at this grid. 22 cars. We're almost about hit the field limit of 25 for this league, so it really is anyone's race, and that's a number I didn't account for the live points that you'll see throughout the race. But to continue down the order, it is Gene McKinney and Robbie Gilvin, row 2. William Gregory and Jenkins, row 3. Laura Traynor won the championship prospects. 7, Skylar Den joins her in P8. Cam McElreys and Jukushinome, row 5, with Joseph Lanny Pavlon and Rich Boy, row 6. Hector Garcia and Jackson Brown, row 7. Row 8, Cooper Wall and Bowen Fisher. In an attempt to go back-to-back, he's got a big hole to climb up through. He'll start 16th. Zachary Hall and Matt Tisbell's in row 9, with Sierra Cooper and Ace Racer, the final two, to set lap times in row 10. So that will leave Kirsten Bell and Sebastian Kugelon as the two drivers not setting a lap time for a 22-car grid mate. I didn't even Juco during the practice session, like in the closing minutes, was just baffled at the number here. And like for a league this small, 22 drivers for the season finale, it's just unfathomable. But that's just going to make all the that's going to make the, I lost my train of thought. It's going to make these prospects for the championship between the 8 and 18 cars just a lot harder. I'm kind of just multitasking right now and I'm stuttering. My bad. Okay, so now that's properly set up, and yep. Cam Fisher just trying to go back to back, starting 16th. Traynor becoming one of the better placed of the two championship hunters in this final race, starting in row 4. She needs to make up 14 points, and with neither of them winning pole position, which will give out 1 bonus point, that's pretty much out the window. It will remain at 14 points heading to the green flag here. And at 18, up against the number 8, Hector Garcia. He has been really impressive in this league. I can't find him on track, but man, it's just 2 wins this season compared to Traynor's 1. And honestly, this is going to be a pretty versatile battles. Like, yes, you got 2 drivers that have pretty much done the races that they could, and they've rightfully worked their way to becoming the top 2. But with a field of this size, this magnitude, it just really amplifies it. I was scared initially we wouldn't get enough cars to really get any significant swings, but again, 22 cars. I hate to keep mentioning it, but that's just really, um, that really sets the tone for this race. Like, if, if one of these drivers finishes this race 22nd, then that could really open the door for the other. So my bad, let me double check something. 7 and 13, so. I got yelled at to retire, but I don't feel like it, because there's a chance my game will crash, and I don't want that to happen. So, before we roll off, here is live points, and as they sit stationary, it is 15. That shouldn't be right, but oh well, too late to change any coding on my end. So tonight, it'll be 81 laps. So two-stop strategy, and okay, I think Garcia mentioned his controller disconnecting and that we need a reset, but we shall not need it. Into the pits comes the pace car, and for one final time, the Budweiser Cup Series gives you Season 7, and we are underway in Miami. Viola already with a great charge off the line, going to clear Tala for the lead. As we got a long night here, folks, and especially talking to the 18 and 8 cars, still got 80 laps to go here, and you cannot afford to make any mistakes or get involved in a wreck as they did in the back, so that'll be a reset. Just quickly play that before we commence with the reset here. And yeah, one reset attempt dealt with, and pretty much the only one. Availability here. Meanwhile, McKinney fell out. He'll rejoin. I guess while I'm waiting. Nine points, so that would mean it would have to be, unless I did something wrong here. Yes, I did. It was on a setup thing. So Trainor accidentally put her as 542, but in reality she has 552 per point total heading in, so that's my bad.
Drivers, start your engines.
And can finally reset that. So we try this again. It's going to be 81 laps, as I mentioned. Cup physics, points of no return, and 4 to go. 2x square, so 2 stops are a minimum. In the sunset of Homestead, Florida, gonna try this one more time. Pace car's gonna dive in. The DSRA Championship prospects of Billy and Viola and Talaziz lead the front row. Not the same league, but it should give us a good show in Miami as we're underway. Once again, Viola getting a clear shot. No cars in front of him or beside him as Aziz will slot back to second. And McKinney third. There's a trouble spot last time and it will occur once more. That is Dragons going into the air, bro. Bro is dead. Rest in peace, Dragons, like, bruh. He already had his issues with Gregory, then Skylar then spun out in front of him and bro just lifted off. It's just NR physics doing his thing, I suppose. But I believe we're going to, yes we are, going to reset once more here. So,
drivers, to your cars.
one more time, and this time no more resets. The admins were being generous, which, fair enough. So, whatever happens here, regardless of who wrecks, shall be a caution. Think I probably wasted 2 good lines calling the green flag, and now I'm basically out of brain cells for this third attempt here. And Sierra fell out. We realized quite a few people. Oh my god, bro. Oh my. Okay, this time I'm gonna properly retire from the race. To speed things up. I wanna see some racing, bro. Here you go, now you got the updated live points, all corrected. It is Trainor 5 points behind Garcia as they sit through qualifying.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines fired. One more time here. And we already gone through the race info twice now, so no need to do it again. But like we've been seeing through these first 2 attempts, it's just someone didn't get going. McGilvery's gonna have to try to get his position back, hopefully without killing people. Third time's a charm in Miami, and we are ready to sell a champion. And to pretty much prove my point, I just brain farted. So who dies this lap through turn 3? I have no idea. Same old charade, Viola and Tala 1-2. Gilvin slots into third, McKinney P4. And this time it's going to be the 92 gets loose, and there's multiple spins towards the back. And that'll trigger our lap 1 yellow. Jackson Brown, number 19 with the new livery. Cooper Ball, Sierra Cooper, your Daytona 500 winner. Mattis Wells, Ace Racer, all involved in this early accident here. And she goes wrecking under yellow. Brother. Well, there's multiple things to look at here, and the 51 unfortunately gets a shame here. Starts back here, Jackson Brown listed 14th. Self spin saved there initially, but then the 5 kind of just had nowhere to go. And Clobbers 19. 32 Zachary Hall gained minimal damage, just gained taps into the wall. Maybe Cockpit will give you a better idea of how blind the 5 really was. Yeah, it's just nothing really you could really do. And this setup also really loose. This is based on DSRA for their season 10. So, massive pileup towards the back triggers caution flag number 1 as we are ready to pit. And just about everyone does. The 5 and 10 get you updated by timing, or by points rather, as yeah, just no brainer, pit now, get warm tires especially. So championship on the line, and it could end as early as now, but it's going to be Trainor who wins out the pit lane with Skyward in P2 and Gregory in third. And there's Garcia opting for 2, looks like, as 3 cars opted to stay out. GLP, all club winner, and then Zachary Hall making his first start this season, and Gene McKinney, your Michigan race winner. So, set to go green this lap here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is where Garcia is going to restart here. And going to be a single file. 3 cars opted to stay out. I want to count 3 or 4 opting for 2. Up to the leader to call green, and he does. GLP gets away. Bit of a stack up. But no wreck just yet. Oh, how it gets loose in front and gets it up to the outside wall. Robbie Gilvin also spins out. Exit of turn 2. Separate spins. So no caution will be called for that. It's McKinney up in the outside wall. He was one of those cars to stay out. Just dropped like a rock. GLP leads his first green flag lap of the night. Trainor up to second. Trying to work on Viola, who's on the 4 fresh tires. But nonetheless, Viola to second. After restarting P8, I believe it was. I'm not good at math, nor remembering the order. A little shaky there. 27, Ramen server, and for a field of this size, it's pretty much a detriment. Only one so far. And that's Gilvin in the pit lane. Rich Boy disconnects. That's Race Racer spinning through turn 1, and there's another one up here. And that was Gene McKinney. So quite a few self spins, and that's just really how demanding this track is. This DSRA variant is gonna have quite a few spins here, especially when trying to get the ball rolling. Even Season 11's DSRA race had quite a bit of incidents, so always play the side of caution. Garcia back to 18, so more likely he was just trying to keep the car clean, which fair enough. But he's gotta get going here, because at this point with Trainor up to second, it's just no contest in terms of who wins the championship, as Skylar Denton is the next car to spin out. And here comes Trainor for the lead on GLP down the backstretch, and he is going to surrender that over. If Trainor leads the lap, she's going to get 1 bonus point rather. But there's additional 2 points for leading the most laps in the race, and that's what the 18 is trying to do. Just extra cushion. Well, every point is going to matter in a full season points format. And that 1 point could very well make the difference. So we do have one retirement, that being Rich Boy, as we're going to be 10 laps complete now. Laura Trainor just clocking in the laps. JLP in P2. Kirsten Bell in third, William Gregory P4, Cameron McElrath in top 5. Tyler Aziz P6, Bowen Fisher P7. There's quite a bit of gap to find Zachary Hall in P8, and not much further back it is Sebastian Kugelon in P9, and Mantis Bells completing the top 10. JLP's trying to work the inside here, and not able to do so. The 18 gets a better runoff here. Oh, that's 18 in the wall. Buzz gonna go on board with McElvey and just narrowly about missed that mistake there from the race leader. And there's another spin. Goshinome once more. And that's Sierra Cooper also just not much further up the road from the 51. Both of them I believe to be separate. So yeah, he'll be Trainor going back to 5th now after that slip up. Kirsten Bell got the lead. How that? I just love missing lead lap changes, huh? Or leader changes. And Nome just fresh off a self spin in the way and pulls off to the driver's left to give the leader some space here. Not the night Juco would want, especially with that self spin under caution. After coming up a really great performance last time out in North Carolina. And where is the 18? Well, she fell back. So down to 7th now for Trainor. And let's go find the 8 driver Eddie. He's up to 14, so he is gaining somewhere with this. With these mistakes the others are performing. Here's Juco in the pit lane. We're also expecting the 13 to come in as pretty much natural selection. Tyler, one of those drivers who ran this version of Homestead a good times now. This variant in particular first used in season 10, so he's been there for both of them of the running so far. And he's taking this time also to dial in for Sunday's race. DSRA has their championship race on this exact model and setup. So it makes good practice. Right now he sits 3rd, and Karen McGarry's leading the race. Never thought I would say that. And taking it away from Kirsten Bell, and that's pretty much insult to injury to the saying. And they're lapping Sierra Cooper, your Daytona 500 winner. 13 of Skyridan fresh off the pit lane, going to rejoin. Potentially try to get one of their laps back. Ace Racer just up the road from about to get lapped here. And all Garcia can really do is just damage limitation. You just saw or seeing right now, actually. It's 3 points only of a margin that the 8 has over the 18 as last updated. I'm trying to update every few laps as there's goes the 3 top side of turns 1 and 2. Oh, that's gonna be battle. That the 19 there was gonna plow Jackson Brown. Bro is scaring me. And Garcia up to 13th. Quick little update. 8 has another lap, 18 has. And good on her for that. She has effectively lost a draft here with the lead group. And on board with William Gregory, he's witnessing the battle for second between McGilvery and Tala. And Aziz really working that top side. And pretty much the standard for every Homestead model. Only 2 grip lines here, but he's gonna try inside this time to get around Kirsten Bell for the lead. Meanwhile, McGilvery was just narrowly able to fend off William Gregory for third. And the 20 is going to lead his first lap of the night. Nearly a wreck there between those two. And JLP starting to slip back in fifth, same with Fisher. Dragons fell out. I should really look into compression, huh? Or it could be Radman. Either or. Apologies for that. If it were to be the former. No change in terms of the championship contenders. Lower Trainor, 7s, and Garcia, and 13s, although that might change soon because of the pitters here. As they're still side by side for the race lead. Tala Z still on that inside with Kirsten Bell here. Skyraden pitted not that long ago, cut this battle, the top 4 in the race, and just gonna try to make as clean as overtakes as they can to not really interfere with them, as Kirsten Bell takes back the lead. Tyler immediately goes back to the top side to build up momentum. You can really see the difference down the backstretch here. This time he follows Bell through 3 and 4 on the inside. Gregory gets around McElry's for 4th, or 3rd rather, in that meantime. And yeah, just driver's hour starting to feel the fall off here. We'll reference the leader here for good indication, roughly a second. And Tala only half a second, at least in comparison to his fastest lap, that being 3:20, Kirsten meanwhile 3:17. And right now, overall, for fastest lap, it goes to William Viola, your pole sitter, down in the trenches of the mid-pack, unfortunately. 18S speed. Right now, Garcia hasn't really been showing that. He's just been holding his cards close to his chest. As we're nearing the 1/3 mark. Right around that time to pit if you're one of those drivers who stay out. Or maybe even taking 2 tires just to at least get you back on the same page as everyone else. With that caution and majority of the field taking 4, that puts the field window to, or the pit stop window to closer to lap 40, so right around halfway. No progression for either the championship hunters, as it is actually Garcia just surrounded by traffic, kinda. He lets those 2 go, nearly a wreck, and they're about to be running. And then going to be Cooper Wall and Zachary Hall spinning down the front straightaway. And trying to get out of the way as soon as they can. There's going to be a second caution of the night here. And they have taken the race by Talaziz, your race leader. And I believe Skyraden just got in front of him, so he's going to, I believe, rejoin on the lead lap. Or No, he was 2 down. My bad. Gregory P2, Houston Bell in 3rd. And for the update number 78, he'll get all those laps back because he fell out. Well, we pretty much witnessed it. We'll get another look here. Ugh, that like McKinney chopped off the 32. That slowed him down. And Cooper Wall directly behind. Yeah, but just that, Royce didn't anticipate it, and the 78 was already on his rear bumper, so that's just an unfortunate chain of events there. And Zachary Hall in his what will be his only start this season, given his attendance. Yep, that's all she wrote. So pit stops ongoing. And I believe it's Jackson Brown who went off the pits. Don't. He's lapped. My bad. And it'd be Talha who wins off the pit lane over Kirsten Bell and Waylon Gregory. As I pondered that thought. So, quite a bit of a mess here to sort through in terms of the running order. And I believe all these goobers over here taking their wave around. So it will be Tala leading at the restart. It'll be Kirsten Bell P2 as they're still sorting things through. Gregory P3, Gary's P4. So I might be better off waiting until the the game orders them correctly, given that we just came off pit stops. In the meanwhile, Garcia comes back down the pit lane. Amber just haven't. I don't think I've ever seen him within a top 10 yet, so just really concerning. So, trying to update here. I'll just mark Garcia 14s in this case. Yeah, this is a weird. It's showing Dragons and Jackson Brown the top 2, though both of them were lapped. The 78, as I mentioned, was getting his last back because he fell out. And Jackson Brown, meanwhile, I believe he was the car that got technically one off the pit lane and thus get one of his last back, and that pretty much cycled him to what should be the race lead, but really is unfair, and he's gonna restart at the back. So we are set to go green here. It's going to be Tyler Aziz with the control of this restart. I'm gonna have one race win this season at Richmond, unless I'm missing one. But we are green once more. Great takeoff for the top 4. Bowen Fisher, not so much, and was effectively 5th place. Assuming the order gets sorted through. Train or not wasting any time. She wants to take it 3 and not able to get the run off. So she'll have to remain behind these two of GLP and Kukola. And she's going to go for a spin. She saves it. The 5 does not. And it's going to be a multi-car accident. Caution is back out. And that's a plow for Dragons into the rear end of Draenor. And hits her again just for extra measure. Creeper wall also. That shouldn't be right. If my keypad wants to work, I was just typing to let them know. The pit's closed, and yeah, it's just 22 cars when you're used to like 10 will put a real bit of a strain for the admins of Juko, Shinome, and Bone Fisher, so can't fault them. So in that meanwhile, look back at what triggered the yellow. Yeah, just 18 gets loose on entry. I just need to look. Yep, she hits a... I wouldn't call it an invisible grip line, but it's just effectively what it is, the void. It's the same principle. So basically, in between the road here and the wall, for whatever reason, NR and the PTF deems it like 1 or 2 pixels, deems it as a void. So what happens is that there's effectively nothing. So that's the reason why wall cooling is possible. Because the tires aren't touching anything, it's going to cool off the tires on the straightaways. But when you try doing this on turn, there's no grip, like nothing. So that's just going to spin you out if you try running too close to the wall, and that's unfortunately what Draenor had to make way with. What happened back here with Mattis here? And it looks like just a spin, just trying to avoid, unfortunately. Cripple ball, I think I tapped or just narrowly did so and just overreacted. And Dragons plows. So I believe it's Gregory who wins off the pit lane with a 2-tire call. Gives them Bell P2 and B McGilvery's P3 out of the pit lane. And just, yeah, look at that. Well, it was passenger side damage, but they seem to have fixed it. She'll return to the racetrack in the back. Now, for the first time in this race, behind Garcia, I think. Oh, Tyler retired, so that's retirement number 3, actually, as VL has also done so. And likely because Neural is about to start, or just got their practice underway, so they prioritize that, and there goes the 2 DSRA championship fighters out of this race. Quite a few people stayed out here. Lead lap or not. So it's going to be GLP, your race leader, Zachary Hall, P2, Jackson Brown in 3rd. Lap car in between. Unless the 33 McKinney is meant to be scored back on lead lap. He had a fallout during that long run we did get, so unsure about that. In the meanwhile, Gregory P4 on 2 tires, Kirsten Bell 4 tires in 5th. And there goes the 33 dropping. McGarry's P6, Kukulon P7, Bloomfisher P8, Skyward P9, and Ace Racer in the top 10. Checking here. 14 and 17, so yeah, this is really messy. I'm doing this on my own today. It's not like BPNR, but I have someone else on standby. That's because I believe it's just a lot easier to just keep track of 2 cars instead of 19 in a given BPNR race, especially when they're chase and just the championship as a whole was unfolding. But for me, I'm just solo today. So concluding caution period number 3, number 68, trying to get win number 2 of the season. He's going to call green in the restart zone. We are underway. Zachary Hall does not get a good jump. Allows Jackson Brown to take second, 3 wide for third. But the 32 still lacking in speed. Going to ultimately drop back to 5th, entering 1. McGilvery's going to try to slip in between the 12 and 32 cars to take 5th. He will. Pretty dicey here. And there's already quite a bit of separation between the lead group and pretty much the rest. In fact, that was 4 wide I narrowly saw back here. Dragons is wall just about dooring the 33 of McKinney for reasons unknown. Update and train order 11th. So not much gain in terms of points. And I feel like with the amount of lap leaders we've had, the most laps lap bonus, which is 2 bonus points, is ultimately anyone's guess. But fastest lap hasn't changed. It's still Viola with that point. And Laura Trainor 2 cautions ago got involved in a wreck. And trying to work on Gilbin for that top 10. A little bit of war, just ramming normalities. Unable to complete the move. Maybe Garcia not too far back. Did see smoke. Oh, that's Garcia on the wall. 78 backs in off, and he's gonna set up this pass here. But we'll shuffle back towards the front. It's still GLP leading, but Kirsten Bell has popped back up. Gets side by side temporarily, but here comes McGilvery's trying to take second away from Kirsten, and he will do so. One car spin, I've been reported Cooper Wall. And GLP pretty much selling the lead here as we just missed, so McGilvery's actually took the lead. Bell finally gets by for second, allows William Gregory to join the fight. Dragons fell out once more. Unfortunate. Laura in 8th. Having gone by a couple cars since our last check. And Garcia's still 13th, so this helps out the 18 here, Laura Trainor. She's still within this 4 to 5 car gaggle for what's effectively 8th place. Robbie Gilbin inheriting the spot currently. But we have breached halfway in the Budweiser Cup Series finale from Homestead Miami Speedway. It is Cam McElreath, your race leader, Kirsten Bell in P2, Joseph Lanning Pavlon in 3rd, William Gregory P4, it'll be Bowen Fisher P5, Sebastian Kukulon P6, and Zachary Hall P7. Bobby Gilman has just lost a position. No, that's McKinney getting in front of him, although he's lapped. Robbie Gilman, 8th place, Skyden in 9th, and Jackson Brown in the top 10. And just behind him is Laura Traynor in 11th, one of the 2 championship prospects. And same is Hector Garcia in 13th place, so not much they could do do in terms of damage limitation for the 8th, but he's trying his best. Currently has a championship lead as we speak. Jamie McKinney has the fastest lap currently. And we have 3 retirements: Tyler Aziz, William Viola, and Rich Boy. And pretty much everyone is just what was 2 to 3 separate gaggles that pretty much bolted back together. It is JLP who's just taken back the race lead. It'll be Kirsten Belkin moved down the way by McElreath. That upsets her exit speed. And Gregory's gonna try to make it 3 wide on the bottom. Only could do 2 side by side with Kirsten Bell for the final podium position. And it is really good news for Traynor. It's like you got a lot more positions to work with now that everyone's back in one big clump. Garcia, meanwhile, is gonna have to hope that Mantis Bells either goes fast enough or he turns up the notch and make the overtake and just rocket to put himself back in contention for this championship. Because you can only do so much in what would be 12th place. But Traynor, as I mentioned, has this big clump of cars in front of her. She could still very much win this race. McGarry's back to the lead. Gregory P2. GLP getting sacked once more. Jamie McKinney is within this picture. He's 19th. 5 laps down actually, so. I believe this is the second fallout of the race, so he won't be getting his laps back until the next caution period, if there is one. But right now, as he's just making moves, 4th on track as they're nearly 3 wide for the lead. The 33 now doesn't really have anywhere to go that doesn't kill one of these lead lap cars, as they're still side by side for the lead. Is Kirsten Bell getting the better of McElroy? That 77 is just really loose. Maybe the 68 can get a better perspective. 3 wide in front of him. Oh, the 77 really backs off here. Gonna get dicey here. I don't like this. Oh, and there, nice. That pretty much solidifies it. There'll be 2 cars and 1 crash. GLP tagging McElreath around, and that'll be a caution. These leaders still gotta race it back to the line. Man, oh man. So pretty much we won't be seeing any green flag pit stops. So it's just a matter of, and I'll get to this, execution on pit lane here. Kirsten Bell wins the race back. McKinney still laps. Gregory P2 and Robbie Gilvin in 3rd place. As we are 31 laps away from the checker flag, we had to bear witness to caution number 4 involving GLP and Cameron McElreath. So Alpha 4, and the 77 just losing the back end, and we've been seeing it for the past couple of laps, and 16 just wrong place, wrong time for that to happen on exit. Right on board. Caution period number 4 in Homestead, Miami Speedway. Pit lane open. Everyone comes in. No brainer decision here. Gonna take it to, at minimum, these final 29 laps. And that is the 83. Sitting perpendicular in his pit box temporarily, but he gets it corrected. Kirsten's already out of her pit box, and she is going to win off the pit lane. Or she's slowing down actually. So, oh, it did nearly a wreck off the pit lane. I believe it was a 12 who wins off, and Kirsten retains second. And I believe that was the 43 getting third. So, well, really confused on that call. So, but look at this first. Yeah, pit speed's 45. She just really slows down here. It has to be deliberate, trying to make it close. Yeah, that's just not acceptable in my book. Meanwhile, we look back here with Sierra Cooper. Oh, trying to enter his pit box, and GLP hits him, and the 46 pretty much knocks him into roughly the correct direction. And I'm surprised that pit crew was just able to service the 83. How? I've seen straighter angles in the pit box not being considered as serviceable, but we are back green with 28 to go. It'll be William Gregory, Kirsten Bell, Sebastian Kugler rocking off in the top 3. Oh, reckon the back here, they keep it. Nope, they did not. It'd be Bowen Fisher collected here. Caution, I got out again. Just quick yellows. Rapid, nearly contact amongst the championship contenders. The 18 sliding up in front of Garcia. They keep it clean for now as they take the caution flag here. And the top 3 remain unchanged from that restart. Let's see here. 48 trying to avoid the 77 and spins out right in front of Mattis. And I believe the 33 McKinney tapped him to Fisher to finish him off. Yes, he did. Pretty unfortunate. But the 33, as a consolation prize, gets all but 1 lap as a result of his fall off here. Connection issues he's been experiencing. Pit lane open. The 18 stays out. The 8 does the opposite. He wants fresh tires, and he thinks now is going to be the crucial moment that clinches a championship in his favor. And this is outdated life points, so trying to update them. I can under yellow here. Just subject to change on how what position the number 8 gets out here. Listed 15th, and he gets ahead of Mantis, so that's correct. So as they stand under yellow, it is 6 points in Garcia's favor. But when we do go green, which will be this lap, it's going to be, if I'm brain wants to work, 26 laps to the checker flag. So still plenty of time, and you got what is effectively 1 lap fresher tires given the quick yellow. But any difference can still play a role here. And trying to capitalize on the fall off between the 8 and 18 cars, the 2 cars fighting for the championship. But up front is still William Gregory, Kirsten Bell, and Sebastian Kukla. All of them stayed out to retain their top 3 positions. And we are rocketing up to the restart. That's be the 13 of Skylar Den with a terrible restart, clips the wall. And Trainer elected to try to take the limping 13 as a pick, but couldn't do so. Still behind in 9th. Be McKinney and Dragon spinning in the back, and then meanwhile. Oh, and that's the 18. She's going to be spinning out of 4 here. And there goes Garcia flying past her doors, and that could be the deciding factor here. She had the track position, but just made a mistake on the opening lap of this restart. And there's another spin, or nearly was. I believe that was a 19 of Jackson Brown. As for the lead, side by side across the line, but here comes McElrace trying to take it 3 on the bottom. And Kirsten Bell's gonna let those two go at it, trying to get a crossover. She will, still, well, no longer 3 wide. And Gregory getting a run off the corner, turn 2. Going to be Gregory taking back the race lead. Going to be podium fight for Bobby Gilpin. He gets the position. 12 leaves the bottom open for Kirsten Bell to put up another fight here, but slots back in line. Get an update on you. Garcia in 12th place. And let me find train more. She just came up the pit lane, scored 17, so if she doesn't get a yellow, then this championship is pretty much over. And it really sucks that it just comes down to 1 mistake, and that's pretty much how championships work in motorsports. Garcia, meanwhile, can just go back to what he was doing pretty much this entire race, just do damage limitation and refrain himself from making any mistakes. He is paying dividends in what will soon be the final 20 laps of this race. So these cars pretty much single filed out as Gregory is warping with the lead. With that green flag, 26 laps, so you could get away with pushing, but I don't personally suggest it. That's what Kirsten Bell is thinking. She's backing off here. Let the 12th car burn up his rubber and pounce on him. Yeah, Bell just always been thinking long term when it comes to these races, especially when it comes to tire degradation or fuel mileage. But she's always a strategist before an aggressive racer. But if it ever comes down to lack of yellows or just a nail-biting strategy call that could flip the race on its head if done well or backfires, Right now she's at second, just buying her time. Gilvin on the outside trying to defend against McElrea's for third place. And Skylar then just not a really rough night for the 13, but able to crawl their way back up to the top 5 and actually gonna get fourth here from Robbie. And there's GLP on the outside wall here. Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Oh. That was Cooper Wall, I believe it was. Nearly hitting it, but the 68 just toes it out of the way just in time. That leads to 42 spinning. And that's just really scary to witness to. But we don't need any more yellows, although that would be fun to bring back the championship fight together, but it is what it is. If there is any yellow, then it is what it is. Even 18, drop down to 18s, actually. Trainor 1 lap down, as opposed to Garcia, who's just actually with that pass on GLP up to 11th. Focus back up to the race lead here. Gregory's still leading. And the 77 McElroy nearly finding space underneath the 99 of Kirsten Bell to get his nose underneath, but the 99 still gets the better run off the corner. So no changes there for second place as we hit 15 to go. Really close for third. 13 nearly tapping McGarry around through the middle of 1 and 2. Meanwhile, we must McKinney once again, and with that he called it quits, unfortunately, so he's retirement number 5 as GLP actually retired. Nearly getting clobbered by Cooper Wall, so 5 retirements. After we completed 67 laps here in Miami, Florida. And 18 back up to 16. She's actually gone by Cooper Wall for position. And she's gonna get another one with Dragons pitting. And the 18, I feel bad for her. It's kind of just helpless. She's just gotta hope that Garcia just has a massive blunder, or there's a caution to put her back on lead lap. She has lucky duck position to the 18 just gotta hope for a yellow or something catastrophic to put her back in front of the 8 car on track and ultimately win this championship. Closing in on 10 to go. Cooper Wall ready to get lapped, but it's going to be narrowly side by side for a lead. Kirsten thought about it, but thinks better of it. Is Skylar then up to 3rd? As McGarry's holding firm in 4th. Nice Dragons now ready to get lapped. And Gregory's gonna look outside as he's warping. Meanwhile, side by side for 2nd, Skylar then able to get underneath Kirsten here. Yeah, but he has the lap car, or was the lap car. These two had similar schemes, it just really nags me. But regardless, this limping 12 car through the corner was able to slow down to 13 just a little bit, but still, Skylar then able to get the power out to claim 2nd place as they hit 10 to go. And then looking inside here as they take the stripe for 10 to go. You're gonna be side by side for the lead, and it was a spin from So Shiranome, he's retired. 6 retirements now. So Gregory sacked from the lead. No changes there. It'll be 18 game 14s now with that retirement from the 51. Trying to update here on my end. Needing a wreck back here. It's just this gaggle here as McGarry really gets swamped. He was fist crossing the line, but pretty much been dropkicked to the end of this queue. 7 lead lap cars plus the 78 Jag is fresh off the pit lane. And it's now looking like these are going to be the 3 cars we'll be looking for in terms of the race win. And just a reminder, caution cutoff or point no return, whichever you may call it, is at 5 to go. Currently 7 to go. So 2 more laps till we hit that point. Meanwhile, for 4th, Robbie Gilman fending off Zachary Hall and Jackson Brown. And there goes Jagus once more, but Galway's pretty much fell like a rock, unfortunately. Garcia trying to get out of this season with a final top 10 finish, as he has caught up with Bowen Fisher for that 10th place spot. And there's Trainor, number 18, ready to get lapped here as Kirsten Bell back to the lead. Oh, it just nearly wrecking himself, that being Gregory on Scourden for 2nd. And it's going to be points of no return. So it will be 26 laps to conclude the season. And unfortunately, that spells the end for Trainor. Anything can still happen within the 5 laps, but with no hope of a yellow now, all she can really hope for is that the 8 blows up. Like, explodes. Like, he no longer running on the racetrack. Kind of blow up. Somewhere around those lines. But Kirsten really checked out. I've just been right on the nose with her plan, and she is rocketed off after getting by the 12 for the race lead in the closing stages here. And Skylar, meanwhile, not much progress being on the 12. Gonna try to get to him for 2nd. At 12, also starting to pull away, just that. What was? Top 2 had the same idea of time saving, just that 99 did it much better. So, closing in on the final miles here, and the championship flop on his head, but still really impressive of a race overall. The attendance, just the racing, yes, the cautions, especially those early on, really detrimented this race a little bit, but still, I still one of the great championship races I've ever witnessed in any capacity. Coming out for here, enough nostalgic talk. There's going to be one final lap in Season 7 of the Budweiser Cup Series. Kirsten Bell with the race win at Lucas Oil, putting up a military defense to fend off Landon back to get that this time, while the 12 is closing in ever so slightly is not going to be enough. Kirsten Bell, rounding off 3 and 4, she's going to conclude her Season 7 campaign with 2 race wins on the year. And Laura Trainor lapped. Dragons is wrecking. Sebastian Kuklons are gonna hit him. And just avoid this wreck. He's going to get the top 10 spot while doing it. Garcia, number 8, is your Season 7 champion. The valiant fights for the 18 I just saw 2 different perspectives with 2 championship fighters. Just Laura trying to capitalize every moment. She was the one making moves. She was trying to get every point possible. Meanwhile, Garcia, apart from just now, he's never cracked the top 10. Like this lap taking the checker, this was the only time he got to be in the top 10 running order. So it's just that calm mentality. He's got 81 laps to figure this out, and ultimately this lacks strategy. Tortoise versus Hare classic. It's the tortoise of Garcia tonight who wins. It'll be a double celebration with the champion and race winner. And you see the final points here. Just double check. Yes, 18 and 14th place. So that is the difference. 17 points is what separates the top 2 in the final standings. Gonna go find Garcia, who's went all the way to turn 1 practically. Yeah, 2 race wins this season, Texas and Talladega. And it's really paid off here, just being really patient. Again, tortoise versus hare, and it has paid off here in Homestead, Miami Speedway. Before I do that, let me mute CamJam here since Naro's already underway. Take a look at the unofficial race results. We Kirsten Bell, your race winner. William Gregory, P2. Skyler in 3rd. Jackson Brown in P4. Robbie Gilvin, top 5 finish. Zachary Hall, P6. Karen McElreath in 7th. Matis Bells in P8. Hector Garcia scored P9 actually, so something must have happened. And Bowen Fisher in the top 10. Sebastian Kukulon, P11. Ace Racer in 12th. Sierra Cooper 13th. Last car to finish on lead lap. Laura Trainor, give it all she had, but comes home 14th. Cooper Wall 15th. The Dragons P16. Chico Shunome P17. Joseph Benny Pavlon P18. Jamie McKinney 19th. And Tyler Aziz in the top 20. Well, William Villa and Rich Roy are the final 2 out of the 22 car grid for tonight. And just what a show of shows, both from a championship standpoint and a race. Let me quickly leave here and double check my settings here. So, got 22 people to participate. Right now, 3 of them are waiting in the waiting room. We shall start with our race winner.
User was moved to your channel.
Oh.
Kirsten Bell, do you got me?
I.
Hello. Well, we saw the amazing performance you did at Lucas Oil, able to fend off Lonneback, and this time I felt like there was not much of a competition. I already knew the story you're about to tell me in terms of your game plan, but do tell us anyway.
Pretty much. I got my Kroof over there. He fell asleep, but he's the one that told me to start last and drive up to the front. And Goober himself, he caused Tala and Will to just disappear. And that's what gave me the win.
Well, you could say that Goober has
Everything.
pretty much Thanos snapped your competition, so what was that
Yes.
like trying to work your way from effectively dead last to the front?
The first lap was probably the most nerve-wracking. I think I passed like half the field in just the first corner alone. I don't know how I did it. I was just trying to. I saw that this stupid, annoying orange car with Home Depot sponsorship that I had to catch up to so I could wreck. So I took that mentality and just drove through the entire field.
Well, this has worked out for you, and well, congratulations on your second race win of the season, and thank you for joining me.
Second? No,
Second or third,
It's my
I
third.
forgot.
It's my third one.
Where was the other one? Am I missing?
Charlotte. I won Charlotte.
Oh yeah, 'cause fucking Lyle ran out of fuel.
Yeah, Kazakhs.
Yeah, my bad on that, but thank you for joining me.
No problem. Hope you had fun broadcasting.
User was moved out of your channel.
Alright. Runner-up finisher. Be next up here. Almost dragged in the wrong person.
User was moved to your channel.
Willie G, do you got me?
Yeah.
Well, same song, different dance for 2 weeks in a row, I believe. So, second
Yeah,
place,
kind of.
and you had the right idea. It's just that your opposition executed their plans a lot better. Talk us through your race.
Yeah. I feel like Kirsten saved a little bit more tire than I did. Especially coming out of like 4, I felt like I was a bit slower in 3 and 4. But those lap cars were kind of a bitch. Excuse my language, but they kept running the preferred line, and that kind of screwed up my shit. So
Well, back-to-back runner-ups. So, with
yeah,
that notion to build your basis off of, how do you tackle a looming threat that is trying to get a race win come next season?
yeah, I'm gonna try to practice that because come up way short a lot of times this season. So it's due for me really. But congrats to Kirsten. She was also fast, and Sky as well. He was fast too. So it was a nice race, nice track. I like that.
Well then, congratulations on your runner-up as much as it dismays you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
Yep, thank you for streaming as well.
User was moved out of your channel.
Take a hydration break before we move on. Alrighty, third place.
User was moved to your channel.
Skylar Den, do you got me?
Hello, Victor Delgado.
Hello, hello. Well, you seem very excited, and rightfully so. Third place, and cap off the season with a podium finish. Talk us through your race.
Well, it was just chaos at the beginning. And then once all the gnarl guys started to die off, it calmed down. I don't think they were the cause of the chaos. I think everyone was just learning the track slowly until eventually the gnarl guys left, and I think that was the indicator that we all had learned the track by now. And then we went green to the ends.
And what was that process like? Like, you got Viola and Tala pretty much saying it's standard, and once they left, as you said, it pretty much everyone suddenly figured out the track.
Yeah, I think it's super nice to have them on the track. Those fast guys, Tala and Viola. And, I mean, Kirsten didn't leave for Gnarl, but she's really fast as well. I think they kind of set the pace at the beginning of the race, at least for me. I watched them and I try to learn from them, especially in those last 20 laps. I don't think I could have been that fast, even though I burned my tires super badly. But I don't think it could have been that fast without them showing up early on.
Well, podium, great way to cap off the season here. Congratulations on that. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for streaming.
User was moved out of your channel.
And one more, that being top 5 finisher.
User was moved to your channel.
Jackson, do you got me?
Hello.
Righty, well, it looked a little unorthodox from your perspective during the first half, but hey, top 5 finish.
Yeah, I'm really proud of myself. I want to thank the two people.
So how was that perspective from the lens of the 19 driver?
It was interesting. First start of the race, I felt very loose. I was wrecking loose, honestly, and I disconnected unfortunately, but I got back, got 4 fresh tires, and I was able to stay in front. I had 2 really good saves, and yeah, I'm just proud of the 4th place I got, and hopefully I'm back for more.
And speaking of back for more, what are your plans for next season of the Budweiser Cup Series?
I've always been a part-time driver, just running sporadically, whenever I like to run. So if I keep having good runs like this, I might try to go full-time.
Well, we certainly hope to see that. Congratulations on your 4th place run tonight. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, likewise.
User disconnected from your channel.
And that will conclude everyone. Unfortunately, Garcia isn't here. And Miguel Reese pretty much saw me dissing him. It's not really a diss, it's just a development that Miguel Reese had. Even from within the last 3 months, it's just drastic. Like, yes, there's some hints of the old McGarry still in there, but for him to be regularly contending for wins, and it's just that now, what he really needs to do is just really dial in the unfortunate that is falling off once the long run kicks in. So, let me. I'm gonna see if Garcia wants to give final words. He's not in here, but if there's a message
What's under yellow?
he wants to convey through the Discord, I shall do so. So, while I wait on that, it is ongoing Gnarl at Evergreen in Washington track. That's streamed, unfortunately, and yeah, they've been well underway, and I've been hearing pretty much the chaos that's been unfolding over there. Sunday, DSRA, as I mentioned, running this exact track model and setup for their championship race between Viola and Tala Aziz. Tala is very unlikely, but he can still give it his best shot. It'll be 9:30. And Monday, cars. I haven't mentioned them in a little while, given that Saturday is no longer being used for the 2 days of OCC and IFAR, but for cars, round 10 of their season at Atlanta Motor Speedway, that'll be 9 p.m. for their qualifying. And with that, that was the last race of the season, so got quite a bit to do during this off season, and thankfully I'm in a period where I don't have any streams to do, nor do I plan on it until BPNR gets underway. I mentioned over there that there are a lot of renovations I'm doing with scene takers, all that stuff, and that's going to apply to this league as well. As yes, I will be back for season 8 to cover that. What kind of changes? Well, probably similar to BPNR, just more functionality and all that good stuff behind the scenes. So that'll take a bit. And with that, still waiting on Garcia. I don't know what else they yap about, but Laura isn't here either, but just really sucks for her that she couldn't capitalize it. It's just she looked so strong. It looked like the unthinkable was gonna happen. Coming back from a 14-point deficit heading in, and all it takes is just one mistake to throw that ship really off course. So she gotta ponder the thoughts. 14 points could have made the difference. One mistake prevented her from winning this championship. And pretty much what was the steady pace for her in these closing races, pretty much unwithered or withered away doing that. One mistake within the 25 laps. I know I keep mentioning it, my bad, but that's how little brain cells I've had. Ran out topics, still waiting on Garcia, as I mentioned. But speaking of which, Garcia's been really on the opposite end, as I mentioned during the closing races. He's been more laid back. He kind of just doing damage limitation, regardless if he's off the pace or has race damage. Just ultimately, what he did, it's just really a bombshell. Just doing nothing and win the championship. He was, I want to say, confident with that margin he had hitting in, and it really paid off. 22 cars was really unthinkable for this league. Kudos to Chico Shiranome and Bowen Fisher for putting the race together as cleanly as they could. And yeah, tortoise versus hare, and the tortoise has finally spoken. So, quote, try telling me after like race 4 or 5 that I would be a champion. I had one lead lap finish, I think, and like a dozen wrecks, and even a flip. It was a horrid start to the year. But then things luckily calmed down and the field slimmed for the middle part of the late year, and every week I'd either be behind Laura or miles ahead. The gap between us swapping was fun just after race 10. By far one of the most and restart that sentence. By far one of my most fun title battles. Laura's better than me. She even did one less race than me and yet almost won the whole thing. That is true. Track was fun, not amazing, but fun nonetheless. The race was very bad for me specifically. I keep having to dodge wrecks and bounce off spinning cars, but I never actually got damaged, which I consider myself lucky for. Not really happy for Kirsten. She drove her ass off after a rough practice and having to switch to controller, and I really wanna give props to Laura. She was driver of the year and the whole reason why it was such a fun season. End quote. It's fun being champion, and it's way more fun to respect those that got you this title to begin with. There was no easy fights, and to this point, one less race, and I didn't really think about that. And yeah, just having to dodge the wrecks and avoid spinning cars, that's just part of the norm as a driver, especially in that early portion with the quick yellows. Just ultimately, the best way to win races and championships is to keep the car clean, and Garcia did just that. And like, I don't, I, I want to say that he made no like proper driver errors, so that's something he really capitalized on tonight, and hence he is in my opinion, after tonight's excursions here, a really deserving champion. So, with that, we can finally wrap up. Will Garcia be able to defend his crown? We shall see. No confirmed date on what will happen or when season 8 will start, but there is talk about their IndyCar division going up soon. It's on Saturday, so I probably won't be able to stream those, unfortunately. But it's still something to look at apart from their regular NASCAR division. So that concludes for everything for me. BPNR. I have still working on things over there, but I'm subject to stream on the 28th for their clash. So until then, thank you, viewers, for tuning in, and I shall see you next time.